Good evening and welcome to Bourbonblog.com Live. I'm Tom Fischer and I'm joined by some great gentlemen from New York. We have Evan Favaro and Steve Wilson. They are there at Speakeasy Motors and they created a brand called Speakeasy Motors American Whiskey Company. Also, a gentleman, a good friend you've known for many years, Gable Arinzo. How's everybody doing?
How are you, man? What's going on?
You.
Well, good. It's great to have you all. I'm really enjoying this rye whiskey, and great to have you here on a Sunday night. And actually, you know what today is? Today is National Bourbon Day. So we're grabbing some great whiskey on National Bourbon Day. And but you know, for us, every day is National Bourbon Day. How about for you guys?
Nice, of course.
Oh, yeah. Rye Day over here.
It's Rye Day. It's a little bit of rye, it's a little bit of everything, right? I mean, we're it's all the good American whiskeys in one. So let's start off. Tell us about what you guys do. I see some great cars. I know the Speakeasy Motors is such a cool place. We have some pictures we're going to show you, but what are we looking at right behind you? That's pretty cool.
For sure. So this is my shop. This is Speakeasy Motors. I'm in Wallkill, New York, in the Hudson Valley. We're in a really, really awesome location. The Hudson Valley is filled with amazing shops, whether it's glass blowers, artists, sculptors, distilleries, breweries, you name it, wineries, all sorts of stuff, and all in this area. But where we're at right now is the shop. So this is where I do all the building. This is where build all. Right behind us is a 1930 Model A that I'm building for the Race of Gentlemen down in Wildwood. There's right here is a 1954 Ford panel truck. Right there is a 1,000 horsepower International Scout that we're building. Behind you that you can't even see is a bunch of bikes and really other rare cars that we're working on, Porsches and Hupmobiles and all sorts of really cool stuff. We do everything from an oil change to a full restoration.
And
everything in
between. Deal with. I mean, these are mainly older vehicles you're dealing with. About how old? Typically, what range are they?
Well, I mean, Evan will like doing anything from the mid to late 20s and up, but that's not to say that we don't have, a brand new Dodge Demon in here that we built a roll cage for. Guy,
sure.
800 horsepower, brand new Dodge, car that brought it in, wanted this badass roll cage made for it, and so people say sometimes because he'll go from working on bikes, you do custom furniture. He does handcrafted metal shaping, so he'll do cool custom chandeliers and stuff. And sometimes people ask, like, what does Speakeasy Motors do? And it's like
a little bit of everything.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
I recently built a bunch of chandeliers for Estee Lauder's pool house. Random. I'd have a welder. It works on anything,
Estee Lauder's pool house? What? Tell us about that. That's interesting.
It was just an art project that I was contracted for, and it was a stacked layer of these giant steel rings that we had to fabricate in conjunction with a lighting shop, and it was for Estee Lauder's pool house.
I think the biggest one was like 8 feet diameter.
Yeah, massive, weight, thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
So really anything. I really specialize in metal shaping and restoration work, where I take your 90-year-old car and bring it back to new. But like Steve said, I do stuff on new cars. I do build lights. I build stools, you name it,
He just likes a challenge. If you can come in and say, I don't know if you can do this, he'll be like, yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and then you went from all the great, it's really a great artistry that you have there and in motors and so much more. And then you found Gable, and then what happened? Tell us the story of how this unfolded with the whiskey. And I'm actually sipping it right now. The Speakeasy Motors. I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing. It's delicious. Tell us how this unfolded, how we got here.
Beautiful. Well, as you can see on that label, that's actually my car.
Nice.
A buddy of mine who's a sketch artist sketched that picture, another 1930 Model A. But how we met Gable was basically just being a customer at his bar at Gardner Liquid Mercantile, which is right down the road, about 8 miles down in Gardner, New York.
Amazing place.
Yep.
I think that one of the things that really drew us to Gable and GLM
was the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, the Brussels sprouts are worth the trip, but they have their own artistry and craft, in making these handcrafted spirits and cocktails that are just you can tell, you can feel the love and the passion that goes into what they make there. And so when we said that we want to try and break into the liquor world, we don't want to just do it on our own, not knowing what we're doing, and we want to try and link up with somebody who has the same kind of passion and love that we have for hot rods and motorcycles, for making cocktails and liquor.
Yeah,
the coolest one for these guys is that they're building a brand around Speakeasy. So it's not, they're trying to expand beyond just the hot rod shop and the bobbers and the choppers that they do, which are incredible. And I mean, Tom, as I'm sure you know, when you're a distiller and you've had somewhat success, you've got a lot of people come out of the woodwork to start a brand. Hey, you want to start a brand with me? And I've had numerous people that I've tried, and some have failed, and then for the most part just sort of shut it down. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not really worth it. And these guys came in over and over again and basically broke me down. I was like, yeah, you're right. You guys are awesome. I love what you're doing out there. You're local. So we figured out a way to make it work. So I mean, it's actually it's under Gardner Liquid Mercantile. So it's a Gardner Liquid Mercantile product. It's a brand is as the Speakeasy Motors is the brand that they're building. So we work together to promote it, to co-promote it, and it's basically a licensing agreement. So I license their name, Speakeasy Motors American Whiskey Company, and then we developed this product together, which is a New York blend. We've been working with Brian McKenzie up in Finger Lakes for the first 2 batches. Right. But the idea is to do New York blends, and maybe do other variants outside of New York blends. But initially just starting with New York blends, and with Brian's got an amazing selection in his rick house. So we're really able to taste through lots of different things and select a unique blend. But I think in the future, the plan is to seek out other New York distillers. I make brandy now. I don't have the capacity to make whiskey. So now we're looking at doing blends. It's all sourced whiskey, but it's all high quality New York sourced whiskey.
That's incredible, and it really does. It really does speak New York. I love the story, the background, and how you guys were able to really twist Gable's arm into getting on board. I think that's. Was there a final twist that you gave him just to really convince him?
I don't think we can talk about the final twist that it took. I don't think it took much convincing for Gable. No, I think that honestly, and Gable will probably tell you the same. I think that it was pretty quick to realize that we wanted to work together on both sides to try and make something happen. Again, I think that he needed to first make sure that we were serious about it and kind of see what we were about. And
sure.
I mean, Evan will tell you, since I met this dude, you opened this shop in 2011 when you were what? 19?
2011, I was 21 when I started this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, at 21 years old, you realize that you've got somebody that's, just going all in and doesn't want to sacrifice any quality for anything, I mean, and that's kind of when we were working with Gable, when we gave him that first check to say, hey man, just, like a minimal thing, like, hey, we're serious. We want to work with you. He was like, oh, okay. You guys,
I'm all about quality over quantity, So that's why I knew, like, when we met with Gable and I got the vibe of his bar. Like I said, we just started there just as customers hanging out. I was like, this place is legit, it takes like 10 minutes to make a cocktail, but I'm watching them make it all and all the different, everything.
I mean, the handmade bitters,
like,
everything.
This dude is me, but instead of metal, it's with bitters and aromatics and liquors and all sorts of spirits and stuff like that.
They smoke their drinks, their cocktails sometimes, and I mean,
it was just a really good mix, and he's only 8 miles down the road. Literally one road, and you're there.
Yeah, it was actually just the closest bar.
Yeah.
I just needed to say that. So yeah, good.
He's really the closest bar. He really is, huh?
No, there's a closer one.
I was about to say that'd be a little ways to go, but you're close enough. But yeah, Gable's always had a great attention to detail with everything he's done with the spirits, the whiskey, and you all have really come together to create an outstanding product. This is great. This is about a 2-year-old, give or take, rye whiskey that we're trying. Is that right?
Yeah,
it's almost 3 years aged. Actually,
almost 3 years. It has some real personality to it. To be a younger rye, it has some great personality to it. What were you all wanting to to go far on the taste, and what did you end up getting? Tell us about that.
I feel like Gable would probably be the best guy to answer this because he's the professional. That's why we brought him on.
Cool.
Well, I think that initially we were talking about a bourbon, right? And I think I kind of sold you guys on a rye. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And with New York being a sort of epicenter of rye now, with the resurgence of New York rye and the Empire rye, it just seemed like a natural fit. And the kind of I don't want to say punk rock, but like the hardcore aspect of these guys and what they do, and the metal and the black and the leather, like it was just like the rye just fits. Yes, exactly like that. The rye
the rye fits, right? It's something a little different. And people are really getting into that Empire rye,
right? Yeah. And then doing a blend where we were able to get it to a very approachable rye, and then also being able to reach out to Brian McKenzie for the first 2 batches, and we have some others lined up, some other distillers. It just seemed like a natural fit to do the rye. So we're looking for something that was approachable, a little bit on the sweeter side. This is a high corn rye, and something that could be mixed, something that would appeal to these guys wanted bourbon. They had they thought they have a market for bourbon, so we were trying to create a rye that was sort of a bourbon drinker's rye. And I think it came out nice like that.
I do too. I think a lot of these sweeter notes it is a rye, but there's some nice sweetness that a bourbon drinker could get behind.
Yeah, sure. I think one of the things also that we were able to come to terms with quick, that from going from saying, hey, we want to come in and have a bourbon and to go to a rye, was it's very easy to drink in a just on the rocks or neat, but also in a cocktail. It mixes so well.
It's got a really nice finish, man. I don't know. Like I said, it always goes really well with like somebody that's like, oh, I don't drink rye, I'm only into bourbon. It's like, just give it a shot. I guarantee you'll like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least one shot.
Can I ask where Mark is? Where's the third guy?
You guys got any good whiskey around here?
We got some whiskey.
We sure do.
I gotta say, Mark back there is the master of research.
Mark, you've done it so well.
He's helped us through a lot of different aspects, and I would say something, and he knew exactly what I was talking about. I talk about, I can't even think about it, but on the legal side, and then also on the flavor profile side, and he doesn't have a spirits background. It was, other than being a drunk, he just really the mastermind behind these other masterminds.
Yes, sure. He loves to research. I saw him back there. I see he peeked in. What a great looking beard there too. That's I was actually just listening to ZZ Top earlier. It's so fitting, quite honestly.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah,
you guys are a lot of fun. You're fun people, and it's good to see Mark on there. You were mentioning cocktails. My wife Annabelle just made me an old fashioned with the Speakeasy American Whiskey Company rye, and it makes a great old fashioned. I have to tell you, the sweetness and the spice coming into this is beautiful. This really makes a great cocktail, as well as being a great sipper too. So I wanted to try it both ways. I think it's beautiful, both ways.
I bet she makes a good cocktail too, huh?
Yeah,
it's really good. What do you guys like making with? Do you have a favorite cocktail there at Speakeasy?
I'm going to be honest with you. I like it neat or on the rocks. That's just the way I personally like it. If I'm going to mix it, sometimes I'll just throw a splash of ginger or something in there. I like them real simple. I like to, when I drink whiskey, I like to taste the whiskey. I don't like to make them too sweet or not, but like it depends. Sometimes in the summertime, and a nice pomegranate sour or something like that.
That's what I was
just like this whiskey or rye makes an incredible pomegranate drink.
Yeah.
The sweetness goes really good in the summer. It depends what time of year it is. Just like when you drink beer, whether it's really hot out or really cold out. It all depends on your surroundings, if you will.
And Speakeasy has become our house whiskey for the most part here at Gardner Liquid Mercantile. So most of the cocktail, the whiskey cocktails that we make here we are using Speakeasy rye. You can always upgrade to Hudson for an extra $10.
What are you guys making with it, Gable? What are a couple of the cocktails or one of the cocktails you like you're making with it?
We have the classics. We do our Manhattan with the Speakeasy. We do an rye old fashioned. We have one that's it's called the Gunslinger, which is it's basically it's a version of a Manhattan. So it's 2 parts whiskey, 1 part sour cherry liqueur, 1 part sweet vermouth, and it's fantastic. It's a Warwick is a local distillery and winery, and they make a sour cherry liqueur, and then some aromatic bitters that we make in house. Yeah, so we do any whiskey cocktails, and the menu's always changing. Slushies too.
Oh yeah,
Slushies as well.
Yeah, Gable got a slushy machine last night, or not last night, last week or something. He got a slushy machine.
Oh, what have you been?
Last year. Or last year? I don't know. All I know is the other night it got me in trouble. I think when I got home.
You know that I'm way ahead of the curve, all right? So screw you guys. I got that like four years ago now. We've had that slushy.
Yeah, nice.
It feels like last night to you. This is the way COVID time does, right? This is what's happening.
Yeah.
But now, Gable, you guys just recently were able to reopen to the public. Is that what I understand?
Yeah. As of past Tuesday, we could open for outdoor seating. We didn't actually open on Tuesday. I needed a little time to get prepared for it.
Right.
So we opened on Friday. So this is our first weekend open. Nobody indoors except for maybe my bartenders. You can hear chopping in the background. That's why I keep using it. But it's been great. We had a great turnout. Put some picnic tables outside, some cafe lights, little fire pits, some hammocks, and it's been a nice turnout so far. We've had amazing support from the community throughout COVID, throughout curbside and delivery, bottled cocktails, shipping spirits. We've had amazing support, and as soon as we were able to bring people, in or out, we had a nice influx. So. We appreciate the fact that we've got that.
That's so cool. That's great. It's so great to have you guys back open. And I'm going to give you a couple links here. First of all, again, if you're just joining us, it's our nightly show on Bourbon Blog Live. Definitely bookmark the bourbonblog.com/live. We're here live almost every night around 8 p.m. Eastern. Just be watching this space to see who we're going live with next for the next 5 or so nights. We're going to have some great guests and keep on coming back as we continue to celebrate bourbon and just having fun, to celebrate living. I want to make sure that I also put up your all's websites, Speakeasy Motors AmericanLiquors.com. I think if you go there, you can also find, you guys have your social media pages linked there too, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we also have all the locations. So we're mainly right now, primarily in New York State. Exclusively, I should say, for all you out of towners, but you can also find on that website, all the locations that we're in, whether it's bars or restaurants, and one ski map.
Excellent. So you can find it right there. And if you have any questions for these gentlemen about their rye, or maybe you probably even answer questions about cars too, wouldn't you? If they ask questions below.
For sure.
Yeah.
About cars, ask down below, like this, share this. We want to make sure it's a big party tonight for National Bourbon Day. So, if you usually don't share the video and you're watching this, now you can say, hey, it's National Bourbon Day. I have a good excuse to share this video. Please share this.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure people know about this. This could almost become like, it's been a while since I've listened, and I know the one gentleman died a couple years ago. Car Talk. It's going to become like Car Talk. You guys can answer questions right here about cars.
Yeah, this is actually, we wanted to thank you, Tom, for joining us, because this is our first live episode that we're airing, and we get to have Gable and Tom on.
It's been going great. Yeah, thanks for coming on to our show.
Yeah.
Thanks. So like and subscribe below, right here. Right here. Click here.
Well, I just want to say I don't think that either of you guys gave Evan a proper introduction, but I'm not going to go into any of the other specifics. Evan is Forbes Man of the Year. He's also magazine Man of the Year for the past 5 years straight.
Hey, I was nominated for Forbes 30 Under 30. It was so.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I thought. Sorry.
Man of the Year.
Right, so he didn't win, but he was nominated. But I mean, the kind of stuff that he does is just incredible. Seriously, since he was in his 20s, He has been. I mean, where are you? Still in your 20s? Sorry, you still.
I just turned 30.
All right, good.
Well done.
Since he was in his 20s, he's been doing just amazing things. He sold his personal motorcycle to Pink and drove it out to California.
Wow.
He's been in these incredible motorcycle shows and hot rod shows. So yeah, he's really done a great job of building up his brand. Obviously Steve's and Mark even more so. These are the brains behind Braun for sure. But
it's been a full circle thing. It's like, I started Speakeasy Motors in 2011 when I was 21. Wow. And then I got hired at Orange County Choppers when I was 23. I moved up to New York shortly after, and I did the whole TV show on the American Chopper. And that's actually how I met Mark. Our other partner Mark was the sound guy. He's the one that mic'd you up every day and did all the audio for the whole TV show. We just hit it off, became really good friends. He actually found my house when it was for sale. I moved up here, and that's how it all kind of comes full circle. And Steve, I just met on Craigslist.
Yeah, I found Evan on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Is that really?
That is actually how I met Steve. So
casual encounters, M for M? No,
yeah,
what was it?
Yeah, casual encounters. Steve came to me first as a customer, right?
Yeah.
And he had an old 50.
So I had a 51 Studebaker. I had a 51 Studebaker pickup that my wife and I used in our wedding. And, I needed this panel built, custom sheet metal panel thing that I wanted. And I saw an ad on Craigslist for some guy with, I'll build you a motorcycle. I'll fix your hot rod. I do custom metal work. So
at the time, I'm in the basement of a gas station in Paramus, New Jersey.
It was like a dungeon. I walk into this place and I was like, I don't think this is where I want to be, get my car work done. He's like, hey man, you want a beer? And I was like, yeah, cool. I'll hang out. And that was, the rest is history. We hung out together right from that day on. He never worked on my truck though. You
never worked on his truck though. And then small world shit, we wind up like finding out that our moms know each other.
And when we were little kids, we used to actually hang out when we were little kids and stuff. But
years go by, I'm building my motorcycle shop and this and that, and it turns I do a lot more hot rods, and then I do the whole American Chopper thing, and I've been full time for a while. And then I've always had in the back of my mind just a play on words on Speakeasy. How can I expand the brand? Because like a lot of people ask, well, where the hell did you become a whiskey? Every time I see you, you're drinking a Miller Lite. Why are you starting a whiskey company?
Our shop should be sponsored by Miller Lite.
So that was what sold me on these guys, because I also drink Miller Lite.
Well, it was funny because Evan did say earlier he's all about quality over quantity, but not when it comes to these.
Yeah, not so much on the beer side. No. So I'm thinking about how can I expand the brand, and I'm just thinking about play on words, 20s, 30s, speakeasy, and just pure Americana is what these cars are about, and these old motorcycles. And people think back to that era is the Prohibition era and cocktails and drinks and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? I want to make money one day. Let's get out of the motorcycle industry and maybe try to sell some liquor or something, because it's something that'll never go out of style.
Right.
Whiskey, I should say alcohol in general, is not going anywhere. It's not a fad. It's just consistent. When depressions hit and pandemics hit, it goes up, so it's all got a bunch of positives. So I tried to mostly don't ask the family.
It's not all positive.
But it's all kind of like quality over quantity. I always bring that kind of full circle, where I only build a limited amount of cars and bikes. I only wanted to deal with very select people. That's why I specifically chose Steve and Mark to join me in this, because I needed help. If anybody knows me, I don't do paperwork at all. So that's why I needed Steve. And I didn't really understand the whole science of it behind the whole whiskey side. So that's why I needed to bring Mark on. And then ultimately we needed to get it done and turn it into a tangible product. And that's why we went to Gable. And then because we saw his art side of it. So that's kind of how this whole thing comes into one company.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's made up.
I can tell he's starting to get drunk. Yeah.
So one more thing, Tom, before you, I don't know. These guys also put on an amazing event every year where they raise like thousands of dollars for Autism Speaks. So I've been to this, and like motorcycles, choppers, hot rods come out of the woodwork. and they like show up at Evan's house and at his shop, and they just have this huge show with like they have bands and they burn rubber in his driveway. I mean, and they have kids running around and people camping. It's a really cool thing. So I mean, there's a lot of things that sort of sold me on these guys, but they're genuine, legitimate guys. I really wish Mark was sitting back there because he too is
he's back there.
He's here. Oh, he's here.
He's here. He just
Mark, pour me a drink, Mark, will you?
Mark.
A virtual drink for
Here, hold
Gable.
on. Here, pour me a drink.
Hold on, he's pouring you a drink, yeah, right? The virtual
drink.
drink.
You pulled it out, but it comes
Hey, there we go. Nice.
I knew it would come through. That's the magic. That is the magic. Now, the nonprofit that you guys do every year, the event that happens there, tell us about that. That's very exciting.
So that's something that
yeah, so it's something I've done every year. Last year was our 8th one. Because of COVID, we're probably not going to do it this year. We're going to do some other charities.
Yeah, we're gonna try and figure some thing out for that.
It's probably frowned upon to have about 500 or 600 people at my house this time of year. But every year we raise a bunch of money for Autism Speaks charity, and the way we do that is I host a Speakeasy Motors open house. This year would have been the 9th one. But we have a bunch of hot rods and motorcycles show up and bands play all day. It's 100% free. So it's basically all the money we raise is through raffles and 50/50s and all that.
Yeah, the community comes together huge on that too. I mean, we get donations from, Gardner Liquid Mercantile, local restaurants, local auto parts stores, whether it's gift cards for $100, $150. To products and things like that. Even the food that we get for the event is so much donated. Evan's mom, Evan's wife will go out and like just hit the town and be like, hey, we need help. And so many people band together to make that happen. It's a huge event.
Last year, I sold my motorcycle to the singer Pink, and she donated concert tickets to one of her Madison Square Garden shows. So some of the prizes are real local. Some of them are like big national stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. I think we broke our record last year. We raised about $6,300 or so. Yep.
Yeah. $6,300 for Autism Speaks this past year. We presented them with a nice check at the local like yearly thing that they have. And that was good, and this was actually the first year that they were able to be. It's funny because every year we've been raising money for Autism Speaks and we just give them a check at the end of the year. It's like, in one year it's $2,000, then next year was $3,500, then $5,000, and we never actually reached out to them.
And then one day I got a call.
We got a phone call. Evan gets a call, and she's like, "Hey, I'm your local Autism Speaks rep.
Who are you?
Yeah, well, why do you keep giving us all this money? Can we be a part of your event?" So this was the first year that we actually had a table for Autism Speaks at our event, which was kind of cool also to be working with them.
So I think collectively we've probably given them over 15,000. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So what we're going to do instead of this year, because of COVID, we're not going to have the open house here. We're probably going to do it April, May or so, because next year is my 10th year in business. So we're going to do like a season opener, open house, 10-year party kind of big thing.
Yeah. Do you want to come?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. That'd be a lot of fun. Do you know when you're going to do it?
We don't know, probably April or May or so.
Probably end of April, beginning of May.
I'd love to come see you guys and join you for that. That'd be wonderful. And for going forward, do you have is it up on your website where all that will be, or ways you're involved with that charity? Is it up on the same website?
It will be.
Yeah, we're pretty active on our social media, Facebook and Instagram. Where we'll do, we'll post up things. We sponsor, the event and thing, try and get it out to as many people as we can. But yeah, if you follow us on Facebook or on Instagram, for the shop is just Speakeasy Motors, with an S at the end, Speakeasy Motors. And then, we're constantly putting that on there when it's coming up, a few months ahead of time and stuff like that. So,
I'm always updating it with just the projects that I'm working on in the shop, everything that's going on.
His ducks. He got ducks. So he just puts up videos of his ducks all the time.
Basically, follow me if you like motorcycles, cars, and ducks.
I put it down there at Speakeasy Motors. Follow them on Instagram.
Steve, you haven't set up a TikTok yet?
We have one, but I think the way that our business works, our TikTok would be filled with stuff that just is not relevant at all. Like this call is going way more professional than we thought it was going to go. I mean, at heart, and Gable will tell you at heart, I mean, we are complete goofballs. I don't know. You know,
well, we like that. That's good.
I was going to say degenerates, but
yeah. I mispronounced it. Degenerates. Yeah, we're degenerates. Funny ones though. We're good. Actually, I called Tom.
Tom, where do you live?
I'm right on southern Indiana, border of Indiana and Kentucky.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh yeah, man. You have to come out. Hey, maybe you could send a hot rod or a chopper for him.
Please, that'd be fun. Can you send me a chopper?
We'll ride down and get him. I'll bring my bike too.
Yeah, we can ride him back up on the back, nuts to butts, you know.
No, that's great. No, you guys are so much fun. Actually, when Steve first called me, he pranked me. What were you telling me, Steve? You were
you answered the phone so fun. Did I tell you this, Gable? Tom answers the phone. I call him and he's like, "This is Tom." Like very kind of, I was like, "Oh." I said, "Hi, Tom. This is Steve calling from Speakeasy Motors American Whiskey Company, and I wanted to speak to you about your extended warranty." And he was like, "What?"
Is there a refrigerator running?
I like it. I like pranksters. You guys are super fun, and you do a great whiskey. This is really nice stuff. I got some pictures too. We're going to show those pictures off that you sent me, Steve. You want to show those now? You want to show those?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, not the one.
Not the picture of
not
you
that
and
one
Steve.
picture.
That's weird.
Yeah, not that one picture.
Hold on, Tom. Let me send you some.
Gable's got the pictures. Gable's got the pictures.
All right, I'm just going to see here what we have here. What are we looking at here?
So that's a 1934 Hupmobile. That's a super rare.
There's less than 10 of those cars left in the world.
Yep.
And one of them is right in that room.
It's over there.
We're doing a full mechanical restoration on it, but the body is so nice and solid that we're keeping it just the way it is. We're just doing it all mechanical and interior.
Yep. New glass, new interior, all the suspension, brakes, engine and trans are completely rebuilt. The rear, safety wise, everything to make that thing go down the road. But body wise, some of the true, true guys are going to be a little upset seeing it, mechanically restored and not body redone. But you know what? It keeps it sweaty. It makes it look nice, So that's going to be a fun one for sure. That's going to be something.
It's a great car with great history.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's less than how many left?
Less than 10 in the world.
10 in the world. Okay, that's good.
Of that model, I should say.
So that's extremely rare.
Yeah, that's a very rare one.
What is this? Is this your event we're looking at here? You sent me one of your event as well.
Yeah, that was at our open house last year. That's when we actually officially unveiled the American Whiskey Company to the public.
Yeah, that was fun for us because it was Gable's first time at one of our open house events. That tent, we had tarps hanging over the side, so you couldn't see what was in it. We had it all, decorated inside with all of our merchandise, our shirts, hats, rocks, glasses, which are all available at our website. But we had it all kind of, and there was a sign that said "Unveil" at 5 p.m. And Evan and I, as we were on stage talking about all the other things, we got a chance to unveil that to. I mean, there was hundreds of people there, and it was really good. It's funny, the people that were working the booth, Mark and our buddy Zoli and my wife, they just got swarmed with this crowd of people who were like, "Yeah, we're giving away free tastings of whiskey," and it was like roof, like this crowd came up,
Right. Cool. All right, we've seen that picture. I'm trying to find the other pictures.
I mean,
a lot of great rare stuff. Let me see here. Did I have? Maybe I have another one someplace. There's one of you guys. I think there's a great shot of.
That's the picture I'm talking about.
There it is. Is that one of your unveilings too? There you go.
Yeah, that was our first tasting. That was
our release party.
Liquid Mercantile. That was our release
party.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's where we started slinging bottles and whiskey and tastings, and that's at Gardner Liquid Mercantile Gable spot.
And that's actually before Gable refinished.
It's also Mark Free Beard.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know how he grew a beard so long, so fast. That's crazy.
How many months or years is on that beard? That's just a long beard.
No, well, Mark, what do you think?
Well, look at this thing. He milks it every day.
So how long has it been since you cut that, or since you've grown it?
It's not real, Tom.
That's not real. It's not real. It's not real. Wait.
I was about to say, you just released this back in October.
It's not real, Tom.
Yeah.
They're extensions. He got extensions. That's
I
all.
mean, he looks like he would fit in with the cars, the whole thing. I thought it was real.
Yeah.
No,
Yet another prank. Very well done. All right.
So does his wife. His wife thinks it's real too.
Yeah.
He's not even taking it off for his wife, so I don't feel too bad about being fooled. Do you pass the beard around, or is it just him that wears it?
No, it's just him.
No.
It's him. All right.
Hey, you only get him for glimpses. He's gone now. I don't know
He's gone. I don't know where he is. What other? You got any other good pictures on there?
I sent you some cool bike pictures.
I'll bring them up. Those were the first ones. Those were the first ones I had pulled up. But amazing. So really, some extremely rare cars that you all work on there. I mean, these are some that you don't see hardly ever, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. We even, back in my days at Orange County Choppers, built a bike for Shaquille O'Neal. It was a really cool picture. We sent you the one with pink and all that stuff, and so it's like such a weird.
Is the one with pink one of the ones you sent me too? I'll bring it up.
Yeah. There should be a picture. I think her like pointing at Evan in front of a bike. They're both standing in front.
Yeah, I had something on my face.
Yeah, she was like, "What's up?"
So how did that happen? How did the whole pink and your bike happen?
So her husband, Kerry Hart, he's a professional motocross rider. I became friends with him at a bike event down in Tennessee, and we just kind of became friends. And then last 2018, at the end of 2018, he flew me out to Vegas, and then we rode from Vegas to Southern California, their place. He's sponsored by Indian Motorcycle, so he kind of took me on to build a motorcycle with him for Indian Corporate, along with a few other fabricators. And we built that bike. And then one night we were all just sitting there hanging out in the shop, drinking, and we're just hanging out. And I was showing Pink, her name's Alicia. So I was showing Alicia my website, and she saw a picture of my bike. She's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my bike." She's like, "I want it." And I was like, "You can have it." And then I sold it to her. It's pretty much how that happened.
Yeah. He forgot to mention how many bottles of wine they were drinking that night.
Oh man, it was great. Yeah, they have their own winery there too, so it was a really cool experience to be all a part of that. So we just smashed a bunch of bottles of wine, and then she bought my bike. So then a couple months later, my then fiance, now wife, we took a 2-week road trip, threw the bike in the bed of my truck, and drove out from New York to California and back. Which was an incredible experience.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah. So we've gone out there a few times since, because we're all friends now and we hang out there, and yeah.
Which also the bike that Evan built with Kerry Hart and a couple other guys. So Kerry, Alicia's husband, was commissioned by Indian because he's sponsored. He's like a brand ambassador with Indian. So there's the bike that Evan sold.
There's Pink and the bike. Wow, nice.
Yeah. So
I rode that bike like 3,000 miles too before I sold it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Evan built that for a show down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And part of the rules to enter that build-off show, they invite certain builders from all around the country. But the rule is whatever bike you're bringing, you have to be able to ride your bike from the shop to the show in Tennessee. So.
Yeah, I rode that bike from my driveway here in Wallkill, New York, right down to Asheville. No, not Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a really comfortable ride.
Oh man, look how tiny that seat is. I had to stop on that bike. We stopped at the first Walmart, right? And I bought a yoga mat, a roll of duct tape, and a pair of scissors. And I built a second seat in the Walmart parking lot out of a yoga mat, duct tape, and scissors to put on that thing. The back fender is all raw metal. The back fender is the gas tank. Underneath the seat is also the gas tank, and then the oil runs through the frame. Super fun bike, very eclectic, weird, nothing, kind of racks your brain when you look at it.
A lot of real kind of engineering, not confusion things, but you're like, hey, that shouldn't work, but how do you make that work? And it works, It's cool stuff.
Like, hey, that bike will never run, and then I rode it 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
No offense, but it kind of looks like Pee Wee Herman's bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where my inspiration comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually when Evan rides with headphones. That's the song that he plays. As he's riding.
Nice.
That's that's one of my favorites. So this is
yes.
That's a 1991 BMW. That's my most recent build. Buddy of mine reached out to me, tried reaching out to me, never got a hold of me. Months later goes by. I finally respond to his voicemail. Vince, he gave me that bike that's on top, the blue bike. It's a 91 BMW.
Wow.
It says, I want you to build a cafe out of it. And I banged that out for the Javits Center, the New York International Motorcycle Show.
Yeah.
We won there, and then we took it out to Chicago, and then we won the championship out in Chicago with that bike too.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice.
So almost every single year, or actually every single year for the past, I don't know how many years, Evan will take first place at the New York Javits Center at the International Motorcycle Show for whatever class his bike is entered in each year, whether he brings some big chopper or a cafe racer like that. He's really built a name for himself in the custom motorcycle industry.
The only problem is they give you these really big checks and you can't fit them in the thing at the drive-through, So
yeah.
That's great. I have one more picture of the bike. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a little closer shot of it. There you go.
Yeah, that picture I took out in Sturgis. That was right before I left for Mount Rushmore. I was working out in Sturgis, and I do these on stage metal presentations where I build gas tanks on stage. And I had one day off, and on that day off, I decided to take I think it's about an hour and a half or 2 hour drive or ride out to Sturgis. And I'm the only dude in South Dakota that's wearing a helmet, right? Because it's a no helmet state. So I'm wearing this full face helmet, and I'm riding through Deadwood, and I'm riding through these incredible mountains in South Dakota. And it's just like the movies. It's this incredible day. You hear this rolling thunder come in. Boom, sky turns black. Incredible hailstorm, getting pelted with hail. That bike doesn't really have fenders on it. Drenched down to your underwear in seconds. And we all pulled over in a bar. And, oh, yeah, it's like that picture brings back so many memories. I remember I finally make it to Mount Rushmore. Didn't rain there at all, and I'm drenched. Everyone was looking at me like, "Where the hell did you just come from?" I'm sitting on the ledge there, Mount Rushmore, dumping water out of my boots. It was great.
Very nice.
Yeah, totally off topic, but
no, that's cool. I've actually been to there's one not too far away from where I live called the Little Sturgis, which is kind of it's at Sturgis, Kentucky, which is a smaller get together, but still pretty good size to celebrate Sturgis.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Some people call it Sturgis with a hard G.
Right.
Nobody calls it Sturgis.
They would be mispronouncing it that way.
Literally no one calls it Sturgis.
Well, I do. I just did.
Well, after enough whiskey, you don't know what you might call it.
That's right.
So these guys, the long-term plan also for these guys is that they want to build their own distillery, and they've been looking at properties around the area,
nice.
Build out their own distillery, and the long-bearded guy I think would be the mastermind behind the distilling process. But there are longer-term plans for this brand other than just doing sourced whiskey. We're finding amazing sourced whiskey, so we're going to keep doing this for a bit. But, from the time that these guys came to me, it was always the long-term plan was always that they would have their own distillery eventually. So that is the plan. And they've found a couple.
It's like that little kid that sleeps in your bed at night, though, Gable. I don't know if I really want to leave being out from working with you. I don't want to build my own distillery or just hang out with you all the time.
Just for everybody who's listening, that little kid's my son. All right. So.
But
so what would that look like? You would be doing all kinds of whiskey, spirits, and obviously great whiskey here. What's the next couple steps until you do that?
So the next step we already have in place is something that we started a few months ago when we first started batch 2. We put a few barrels aside, and what we're doing is we're aging those barrels in used maple barrels, maple syrup barrels.
Where did they get that idea?
Where'd you get that idea? Yeah. And I mean, the hard mute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Gable about that one.
So in the fall, we haven't released it yet, but in the fall there is a new maple rye whiskey coming out from Speakeasy Motors American Whiskey. It'll be our maple rye.
Yeah, we're also we are working on trying to come out with a bourbon hopefully maybe by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That we're working on trying to figure that out. I mean, long term, we have other plans to just keep going with it. See where it takes us. We get into doing gins and brandies and trying to do pre-made cocktails in a can. That was something else that we wanted to kind of get into from the get-go. Is if we can take a good quality craft whiskey, have a good quality made cocktail by Gardner Liquid Mercantile with their artistic blend and touch that they can put on it, put it in a can, then it doesn't matter what shitty bartender you have at a dive bar. But if you see that Speakeasy Motors American Whiskey Company can, you've got yourself a great old fashioned. You got a great Manhattan.
But,
but that's like right now we're just kind of one step at a time. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna start the maple rye will be a like a small batch run. We're only gonna do 375s and keep it a little more select and a little more local and try the little like.
I think that's a 26-gallon barrel, right? We have a 26-gallon barrel of that, or is it a 10-gallon barrel?
It was a 15
gallon.
15 at cast strength. So.
I don't know how much is left.
Are you gonna do cast strength on the maple, or what will the proof be, you think?
It's pretty good at cask strength, so
I bet so.
We're probably bring it down a little bit. Probably a little like we're at about like 42 now on our rye, but our maple will probably be, don't quote me on it, 46, 48, a little higher, because it is only a 375 and it's a very small limited run, so we're gonna get a higher proof.
Yeah,
Tom, you back me up on the angel share being like 40% per year in New York. Please back me up on that, okay?
Yeah, of course it is.
That's why that barrel's so empty. I'm just telling you.
Especially if Gable's around and some maple syrup's there too. Taking a sip every once in a while. Feeding it out, giving it a try. Now, is this a once used maple? Was there kind of the back and forth like we've seen it with other whiskeys, or was it?
No, it's a once used maple barrel. Yeah,
once used maple. That's amazing.
And maple, right?
Nice. It sounds so good. That'll be so much fun. We'll be seeing that in the fall in 375s, and then from there maybe some bourbons and just growing it and looking at some other blends maybe.
Our plan for 2021 is definitely we're going to be releasing a bourbon at some point in 2021. Right. Is projected, of course.
Did you guys?
Because there are
distillery idea.
What's that?
You guys nixed the distillery idea. Is that it?
I just told you. We're going to hang out with you for the next 15 years, bro.
I thought that I had an end in sight, Tom. I thought I had.
Yeah.
So every time we try and lock down a spot, we're like, "Hey, Gable, come look and see. Give us your opinion. What do you think?"
You don't have a spot yet, then.
Yeah. So I've got a bunch of property here, and I would like to this is all, of course, a plan right now, but maybe build a distillery here. I also want to move my shop. I need a bigger spot because I'm full here. But for some reason, the government frowns upon putting liquor and motorcycles and hot rods in the same exact building. Can't do that. So I'm
Gable's like, no.
Separation there.
During COVID.
That's right. Yeah, there are no laws right now.
Yeah,
we're the Wild West.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
He's going to fetch more whiskey, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
Mark's job is standing by the mic and opening the bottle.
Yeah, that's all he's been doing. Every once in a while, he just comes and goes. We don't actually know what he does back there.
Does he wear that beard in public, kind of as a mask? What's the story?
Yeah, he tucks it in. He tucks it into his shirt. He folds it up. He folds it up.
For his next drink.
You want to see his COVID mask? Hold on, because
this is like when he's got to go into the store and he forgets his mask.
He's like dropping all his shit over here.
Now I'm wondering if mine or Gable's beard might be even longer after knowing the truth here. But
yeah.
No, it is. Yeah.
This is the best trick ever.
You're making it the mask.
See Mark.
Yeah, this is. He's pretty in the bag right now. So this is like a very. Evan's got to help him. This is a very difficult.
Help here.
We're in outfit change mode here.
Yeah, wait, trust me, it's worth the wait.
He can't even
Tom, you've been doing this. Oh, there you go.
Ah, yes. This is the mask. That's a good mask. It's built in.
You go to a store like that?
There's no germs getting in that.
No.
That's a German texture is what it is.
But the question is the real hazard, can he see?
No, that's why it's been so difficult.
He's been drinking all day.
In one place. So this brings shelter in place to a new level. He's just going to shelter within his own beard.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
One time he had a whole bird family living in it.
So Tom, have you still been doing this every day?
Just about every day. I've been doing the Bourbon Blog Live. We've been skipping most Fridays, but I've been doing almost every day since March.
Skipping Fridays?
So we've done like 70, 80, I don't know, 80 some episodes back to back almost. We've had a few days off here and there, but we're doing some great whiskey guests like you all. I did Gable and your dad, what, about a month and a half? Or right towards the beginning we did you guys, didn't we?
No, that was...
So Tom, enough about us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a whiskey journalist and educator, and since COVID, I've been hosting this Bourbon Blog Live. I'll put the link up here again. But almost every night since COVID, we've been doing another show on bourbonblog.com/live, interviewing a lot of great whiskey guests and spirit guest distillers, just really fun people like you all. And I host whiskey tastings around the country. When this is not happening, I mean, I've not been really out doing that much lately. I've been doing a lot of virtual tastings, but if you want to talk to me about a tasting or an event or just about whiskey, you can drop me a line right there on tom@bourbonblog.com. I started Bourbon Blog about 15 or so years ago, and one of the first craft distillers I really connected with was Hudson many years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing Tom at Whiskey Fest and Whiskey Live and every other whiskey event you could imagine, with every bow tie you could imagine for the past 15 years. Yeah, so
that's right. Gable and I have had some good times together, and we'll try to get back up there here sometime soon once things are opening back up, which they are, and we'll hang out with all of you guys.
Tom, was it the bourbon brackets?
We used to do the bourbon brackets during the March Madness, didn't we?
Yeah, until everybody figured out how to do the bots. I'm pretty sure Templeton was using bots. By the way,
they might have been.
Scott, I love you, Scott. If you're watching, which you're probably not, but I love Scott. They were using bots, those fuckers. Yeah,
we had 64 brands matched against each other, and everybody was voting, and it was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was just this past March.
Oh, it was several years ago. And then it was just for fun, so people could, while they were watching the basketball, vote for their favorite whiskey.
It got a little competitive, though.
Yeah, people got really into this. They were like, vote, and then some people apparently were using bots, which we didn't know about. So
yeah,
there was a whole conspiracy thing.
Bush.
We think a Russian vodka company may have hacked into the bots too. So
you were in the head of the curve then, were you, Gable?
We were.
I was not using a bot, but I know who was.
It was just those fast fingers.
Yeah.
That's what it was. No, well, you guys are a lot of fun, and this is really a good whiskey. I mean, I like the approachability of this, the softness of it, but yet some nice complexity. When you guys are talking about tasting notes with people, what do you guys say? What do you all get on your whiskey?
It's fucking good. No,
that's one note.
I always tell people it's a really approachable, like you said, an approachable whiskey. It's a really high content whiskey where it's got the sweetness of a bourbon, but the spicy finish of a rye. So whether you're a rye guy, you're going to like it, or you're a bourbon guy, you're going to like it. It's kind of a really well-rounded taste, you know?
And then we got to, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. We didn't really talk about this, but we got to give props to Brian McKenzie because he welcomed there to go to Fairfield Distillery. I mean, he's making incredible whiskey, but he opened up his rickhouse to us and pointed us to some certain barrels that he was particularly proud of. And we tasted through dozens of barrels and we would select, the number of barrels we wanted for each batch, and then do the blend back at Gardner Liquid Mercantile. So it was, when you start with great whiskey, you end up with a great whiskey. But the nice thing about it is it's completely unique from what he's doing with Mackenzie whiskey, Mackenzie Rock, unique whiskey.
I feel like we really definitely put a great team together between the three of us, Gable, and then Gable introduced us to Brian, which it's all worked out. I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, like Gable said, to give Brian credit and what he's done with to be able to turn out a great product that we were able to work with is not even the right words. It's so minimal because like Gable said, not only did he open his rick house to us, agreed to work with us, that we went up there, and the time that he spent for that weekend. I mean, we went out to dinners and hung out, and
we went deep sea fishing in the Finger Lakes.
That's not true.
We went flying.
And but we sat there and we worked out. We really did come out with this taste profile because we sat there and we went through all these different barrels and stuff. And if you like this, then we're going to kind of go that route. And it was really easy not only to make this happen with a great product, but also like with Gable and Brian to be able to drive the ship and help us really pinpoint what we want here.
Sure.
And
because we're new to this industry, I build motorcycles and hot rods, and Steve helps me out in the shop, and we brought Mark on, and we entrusted this whole new business in Gable's hands, and Gable brought us to Brian, and it all kind of just worked out really well.
Yeah.
So if I was wearing a hat, I'd take it off to you.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Well, the combination between the now you are the car, the photography you guys put up on Instagram, on Facebook. I mean, with the whiskey in the foreground, the vehicles in the background. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it's all art. It's all in one. It's all a piece of art.
That's where Mark comes in. So Mark, he's standing right here. I don't know if you can see him. He's not only was he the audio guy, he's also a photographer, and he does all the art, a lot of that behind that. So I'll like make the product, and then Mark will incorporate the whiskey into the Motors product and kind of build one brand, the lifestyle, if you will.
Yeah, if there's anything better than working with power tools is drinking whiskey while working. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's kind of funny when we were talking with Gable. So one of the things on the label, which our bottle, I don't know, something happened to it, but it's empty. There you go. So there we are. Everybody helped out with things. My wife designed the label, working with a sketch that somebody did for us. And when we first presented it to Gable, he's like, "Dude, you can't have a car on a bottle of liquor. Like that just goes against drinking and driving and this and that." We're like, no, because that is our lifestyle. Our lifestyle is that 30. What's that?
Drinking and driving.
No.
Separately, both of those, but separately, right?
Yes. Exactly.
You're gonna get Tom in trouble, Steve. Be quiet.
Yeah, you don't want to. They say you don't want to hit a bump and spill your drink. No,
he just wants the sponsorship.
Yeah. Unreal.
I mean, but that's we are about that era and the cars of that time and what was going on with the depression and how there was this resurgence and what alcohol was such a part of it that it was outlawed, but still because of these custom cars was able to be run away from the cops back and forth to make liquor still be a thing.
That's how hot rodding was born.
Because of liquor.
Yeah, the only reason NASCAR exists is because of prohibition.
Right. People started taking cars and modifying them to make them faster, so that this could continue to be, what it is. So. And
some of those cars that you work on might have actually been ones that ran during prohibition, right?
You never know. Yeah. I mean, like this car is in 1930. That's when the prohibition was going on.
Yeah.
This car very well. Yeah, for sure.
Is there a dream car that you all want to work on that you've never worked on that you're like, if we could just work on one of those? Is there?
Kia just came out with this new
Kia Sonata. No, it's a Hyundai. You know what's funny is I once got my tax return and my roof leaked. Right. So I said, I'm taking this tax return. I'm going to fix my roof. I didn't. I went out and I bought my Model A. Yeah. So that's what I did. That was my dream car. is it's the same exact car behind me, but it's not this one. This is for a customer, but it's the one on the label. That has always been my dream car. It's not a super expensive car. It's not the most desirable car in the world. It's just been my dream car. So I used my tax return and I bought that car. That's my dream car.
Also, one of the cooler things about Evan's Model A is that he didn't even repaint it. He just like sort of sanded down the paint that was on it.
Yeah, clear coated it.
Or like shellacked it. I mean, that's the wrong term for
Yeah, we clear coated it.
Shellacked.
Yeah. We put that paint on it. Yeah. Yeah, and then we took it. I just got married last year. We took it in our wedding.
Congratulations. Cool. Well, this may be one of the first brands I've seen that has really encompassed, vintage cars, the artistry with what you guys do at Speakeasy Motors, with whiskey, with the heart that you all have. I mean, it's everything in one. I think it's a really unique brand. It's a great flavor. I know you have a lot more things planned, which we look forward to having you all back on at some point, trying your maple release and other releases. And I think the whole package in one is one of the first I've ever seen quite like this. This is very unique.
And that is exactly why we did this.
Yep.
Right. You've done it. You guys have done a great job. And it's very tasty. It's just so approachable, but yet complex. Congratulations to you guys. Evan, Steve, Mark, Gable, really well done. This is a lot of fun. It's a great whiskey and a great bottle. I love seeing the picture, just the image that it invokes, the Americana behind this, the history, yet the modern era that we're in of rye whiskey. I mean, this is really fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Give your wife a shout out on that.
Yes, I will. And the cocktail was amazing. The old fashioned. She said she used some chocolate bitters with this, and it's a great old fashioned as well.
Yeah. Gable wants me to give a shout out. So my wife,
your wife too? Yeah.
You got to make sure to include her. We've got the
beautifully designed. Old fashioned.
What's your
now, Steve, talk about
what's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Christina, and
Christina, nice job with this. It's a great design. It really is. Great job, guys. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And if anyone has been watching and is just joining, we're going to have this on the channel that you're on, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. This will be up permanently. Please like this, share this, and we're going to put this audio also up on our podcast channel just because we've enjoyed this so much.
Nice.
Absolutely. Dude, thank you so much for having us.
Cheers, man.
This is great.
Yeah, great to see you guys, Steve and Evan and Mark there. Love the beard. And maybe next time we'll have a beard contest, right? We'll see who has the best beard. The best.
Yeah, no, I will not win that one.
And Gable, always great to see you there. And congratulations on everything getting back up and going with Liquid Mercantile. That's really cool. I can't wait to see you soon in New York.
Thank you, Tom. I miss you, buddy.
Missed you too. We'll look forward to seeing all of you guys for a drink soon in person. And thank all of you. So many great people watching tonight. We had a really large audience tonight. Definitely watch us every night. Bourbonblog.com/live. Tomorrow night it'll be Sonoma Whiskey with Adam Spiegel. Will be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So be watching. We'll take you from the East Coast tonight to the West Coast in California tomorrow night.
Hold on, Tom. You said you have a large audience. Is it as
Say
large?
What?
You said you had a really large audience.
Yeah, right. Still watching.
Wait, is it bigger than Gable's?
Was me and my dad bigger though?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Damn it. Oh, I'm out of here.
But look, you know what? It always has times to grow.
No, we just had a little friendly bet going. That was all.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, we had such a great time with you and your dad, and this was so much fun too. So,
yeah, I'm thrilled to be able to do it with you guys for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you guys are always fun. I think it's always a good audience and a great time, and we love what you've done for the industry, Gable. And I think it's so cool to see someone who's done so much for the craft distilling and for the distilling industry, like Gable, and you guys, what you've done for the artistry of bikes, of cars, and everything that you guys have done joining together. It's so cool what you're doing. It really is.
I just want to touch Mark in the background. Mark.
So keep up the good work to all of you, and I can't wait to see you guys in person.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Tom. Thank you so much, man.